All right, so on today's agenda, I'm getting back into R. My computer is finally updated. I'm finally back from my hiatus. And so I haven't looked at this data in a while. It already exists. So just my process. I open R, always put your packages first. This is just a markdown document so that I can share with my team and that I can put online in HTML if I want to. But with this one, I probably won't. After I have loaded here, I'm making some notes for my team. First thing I want to do is strip the text. The data that I'm working on right now are data on publications talking about long COVID. And so I want to strip the text from those data. So basically, what these chunks do is they let you run your code inside of the markdown document. That way, if you do want to publish it as an HTML document, all of your output can potentially be there. You can turn the output off too, but so that's what I'm doing here. So the first thing I want to do is go to my data frame and find what that main text column is called. And here it looks like it's just called key text. And I want to go ahead and I want to first take that out of the data frame. I'm going to call it something consistent. So here I already did this with some other text data that I want to compare this data to. I called it FB strip one. So here I'm going to call this LC strip one. A little arrow there. So that's commanding R to put the output of what I'm doing into this new object. I'm going to put the name of the data frame, pull out that key text category. I can click on it if I'm feeling like lazy and I don't want to finish that typing, which a lot of times I am. Next, I want to alter this object. So I'm just going to put the same object here. So I'm telling R not to make a new object, just to change what is in this existing object. And so what I want to do get rid of all of the capitals. So that's my next thing. So pull the text, then get rid of the capitals. Make everything lowercase. Next, still working with my same object here. I want to go ahead and remove any sort of URLs. I also want to go ahead and remove punctuation. Then I want to store this information as a variable back in my original data frame. So I'll use the money sign, and instead of selecting an existing variable, I will just create a new variable. All right, so let's just call that text strip. And then put that there. Next, I want to make something called a corpus, which is basically an object holding text data. Right, notice my new variable isn't showing up yet, and that's because I haven't run this code, so it doesn't actually exist. Once I have my corpus, I'm going to make something called a document feature matrix or DFM. I might make, more than one of these. That's why I'm adding one after the name of it. So here I'm going to use something called a tidy method. There's something called the tidyverse that allows you to use these funky symbols that look like this to run a bunch of things like simultaneously or together, one after the other as sort of like a subsequent set of commands. Tidy because it's just organized. All right, so first I want to tokenize my corpus. So first I'm going to call the corpus object, and I'm going to specify what here, word. Then I don't need to do this because I stripped my text beforehand, but I'm going to put it here just in case you're not someone that likes to strip your text beforehand. I can remove symbols here. I would just say remove symbols equals T or true. I like to keep it short, so I just use T. And then I want to include the document variables in my document feature matrix. That way, if I want to look at any other confounding variables when I'm building topic models later on, that metadata is present. Right, here's our funky symbol. The next thing I'm going to do is tell R to make a document feature matrix from those tokens. Because I've used my symbol here, I can say we're still working on the same object. You're just doing this after this step. So I don't need to put anything in these parentheses. I can just move to my next step. All right, next, I want to get the word stem. And this is because I don't really want to separate topics or the same word or variation of the word into separate topics. So say we have the word belief. And I also have the word believes and believed. All of these things are talking about the same sort of thing. To make sure that I don't have three different categories about beliefs, I get the word stem, and it would probably look something like that or like that. To make sure that all variations of that get caught up in the same topic, hopefully. All right, so here I'm going to do something called a word stem. And then I want to do something called removing stop words. So stop words are really common words, often prepositions or pronouns. So a, the, and be, things like that. I want to get rid of those. So I'm going to go select. I'm going to call a pattern. Okay, Quantita stores stop words. So I just want to say what language the data that I'm working with are in English. So I just want to remove English stop words. Here, I've only identified the pattern, so I need to tell the computer what to do with it. So here, remove. And the last thing that I'm going to want to do is inspect my document feature matrix after it's constructed to make sure that it turned out okay. So there are a couple of ways that I can run this code. I can hit this button and run all of the chunks above and then print. I like to do things one at a time, but after I write like whole series of code. So let's start here. I can hit play and they'll go. So here we can see I have a typo. R caught it. It's right there. Let's try this again. Here we go. Then I want to make a corpus. You can see they're adding into my global environment there. Make a document feature matrix. And then inspect. Now I need to take a couple of important steps to make sure that I'm going to be able to use topic modeling and that it goes the way that I want it to go. So first I want to make sure that I specify what the metadata is for this document feature matrix. Because yes, the document variables are included in the DFM, but unless I specify where they came from, computer gets confused. So So here the object is the document feature matrix, the DFM, but it's really the metadata of that document feature matrix. So this is where coding gets a little bit weird in R. On the other side, I'm putting the name of my original data frame. Okay, so I didn't record while I typed out this next bit of code. But basically what I'm trying to do here is use these long COVID publication data to make some sort of dictionary for use in an analysis with different text, not from the publications. And my team has been unable to get this to work. So right now I'm going to go ahead and see what I might be able to do to get it to work. I'm going to try first creating a structural topic model from this long COVID data to see if I can assign the topics from that model as categories and use it as a dictionary. Might not work, but let's just see. To do that, I need to convert my Quantita document feature matrix to STM format to use in the STM, the structural topic model package. So here I call Quantita, I convert to STM, and then I just specify where the document variables are again. And then I pull out meta vocab documents and put those back in using the prep documents command. This is going to give us a nice object for use in our structural topic model. So let's go ahead and do this first, and I'll show you something interesting, and I'll change some code below. So you can see here, it's removing empty documents, removing terms. You can see we dropped quite a few documents, over half, almost 181,000. We're still left with quite a few, just under 180,000. Now, this next set of code, step 2, I usually like to do a principal component analysis. So here I set the topics to 0, which tells the computer to run that analysis. It doesn't actually say 0 topics. There's a problem with this, though. I'm going to show you. Okay. So if I try to run this and leave it, we're going to get an error here. Okay. So here, remove duplicates before running the TSNE. We did remove the duplicates though. So why is this happening? Well, it turns out, little known fact about the STM package in R, you need to really have under 100,000 documents, and we have more than that. So while I usually like to use this because it gives us some sort of starting point for a number of topics that isn't just random off the top of my head, sometimes there are limitations. If you just have too many documents like I do here, then you're gonna have to make an arbitrary guess. So with this many documents, we really want to have like a large number of topics. So I'm going to start with 100. I'm going to run this and hopefully it works. And while it's running, I think it's about time for a coffee break. Here we go. And we are on the way. Okay, I think it's time for a coffee break. guess it's also lunchtime, so I might as well make myself something to eat. I've really been liking these fake chicken patties. I'm not a vegetarian, but sometimes I just don't want chicken, so. My husband also works from home most days. He's home today, so I'm gonna go ahead and make him some too. He's a spicy chicken kind of guy. Have a reading at 1 p.m. These are going to take like 16 minutes to cook, so I should have just enough time to eat before starting my afternoon stuff. Okay, well, I mistimed that slightly, so lunch is coming to this next meeting with me, but I'm not going to complain because the reason is because my sweet, sweet spouse decided that he was going to finish lunch, and it just took a little bit longer than I was planning, and, you know, I'm okay with that.
I think maybe the one before about like it's not the person's talking about it and we don't even know what they're talking about.
Happening though, because the title of the
Okay, so now the model has converged. That means that it worked. We did get results. Um, while it was running, I realized I forgot to change the object that I stored it in. And so it was still saying that it was something that it wasn't. So I changed that object name to reflect that it is a 100 topic STM. So let's plot it and look and see what we got. Okay, so because I'm not keeping this plot, I'm not gonna change the parameters to make it readable in here. But I can do this. And it is responsive, so it will be more readable when I do that. All right. It looks like 100 is too many topics. You can see that a lot of the topics here down towards the bottom are like almost entirely the same, at least for the first like 10 words of that topic. So in that case, I'm going to run another model. I'm going to go ahead and I'm just going to have that number of topics. So I'm going to run a 50 topic model. So I already have that here, and I actually already ran that model. It did converge. So let's plot that one now and see what happens. Okay, it looks like we're starting to get somewhere. I still don't think that all of these topics are entirely unique, so I'm probably going to reduce the topics one more time. But I at least think that after this next round that I'll have accomplished what we set out to accomplish for today. I still don't know if I'm going to be able to use this as a dictionary, but I am feeling pretty good about these models just as models themselves. Also going through things that are like pretty similar. I'm seeing like about 9 topics here that have a lot of overlap, but I'm not really seeing another group outside of that group with a lot of overlap. And it looks like there are probably only like 9 in that group. So I'm not going to run a 41 topic model. I think I'm going to run a 40 topic model next. Right now, I just need to make some notes for my team here. Now let's see what this 40 topic model gives us.